the woman just scattered wheat seeds into the ground. The next second, the seeds grew at a speed visible to the naked eye. In just a few seconds they were fully ripe, instantly giving her surplus food in a time of shortage. Then she caught the old hen at home that laid eggs. To her surprise, the hen entered egg spraying mode, plop plop plop, laying eggs non-stop. In the blink of an eye, the yard was piled with eggs rare beyond measure in famine years, and the reason she had such ability was because she was a reborn woman with a space ability. In her previous life the country suffered drought and locust plague. She had not eaten a grain of rice for 3 days. She wanted to beg her 3 sons for food, but they not only insulted her, they even refused to let her in the door. She finally collapsed, starving on the street. At that moment the eldest daughter she had always disliked brought her a sweet potato. Only then did she suddenly realize that her favoritism before had been a grave mistake, but it was too late. Her sons rushed over, snatched the sweet potato, and pushed her hard to the ground. At the moment of death, a drop of blood from her lips fell on the jade bracelet, accidentally activating the farming system space. But everything was already too late. She and her daughter were swallowed by the endless locusts. Then time began to rewind rapidly. When she opened her eyes again, she had returned to 7 days before the locust plague arrived. At that time her 3 sons were quarreling about dividing the family property. Furious, she slapped each of them once, then declared the family could be divided, but all property would go to the eldest daughter and granddaughter. The 3 sons had to get out, because in this new life, she finally saw clearly who deserved her love. The moment she said this, her sons protested loudly. They called for the village chief to decide. The chief also felt it was unfair, since the 3 sons had at least worked for the family. Dividing like this seemed unjust. At that moment she felt it was the right time, so she proposed giving all farmland and crops to her sons, but leaving the house and property to the eldest daughter. The neighbors shook their heads at hearing this, saying she was utterly foolish, because land and crops were the key to survival. But only she knew that when the locust plague arrived, all crops would be eaten clean. At most the stored food could last a month. While she had the farming system space, seeds in her hand were the real key. Her sons, hearing this plan, were overjoyed and left satisfied. Thus the family division finally ended. She eagerly looked at the jade bracelet, and following her past life pricked a drop of blood. The next second she entered a space identical to her house. Here there was spring water that strengthened the body, and anything planted or raised here would mature 100 times faster. As long as she kept completing farming and breeding tasks, the system would upgrade and reward her with many tools. She quickly scattered wheat seeds into the soil of the space. In a blink she had a great harvest, completing the system task and earning a pond and a set of hunting tools. She carried a bow into the mountain to hunt. The bow could even auto-track. With a casual shot she hit a wild pheasant. At home she stewed the pheasant into soup. Her eldest daughter knelt down in panic, begging her not to sell her to an old man in the village. Only then did she realize her daughter misunderstood her. She quickly helped her up, promising she would never force her again, and swearing to give her the best life. Her daughter half believed, half doubted, but soon the news that they had eaten meat spread. Jealous villagers came knocking, but were driven out by her, unable to hold back their envy. Some people slaughtered their own chickens, unaware that chickens would be the only support during the locust plague. The next day she found the village chief, told him about the coming drought